Throughout season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race, I have been on this channel ranking every single runway week. And today we are going to figure out the definitive final rankings of everyone that reached first place throughout the entire season. These have been my personal preferences, and if you disagree with any of these placements, let me know who your favorite was from that category. Starting with the promo, which was H2, oh my god. I went with Arrietty, and I stand by this. I mean, god, this is just a really cool look. I still gravitate towards this makeup, this very Is She Hungry style makeup. I love the intricacies of this coat. It is very aquatic in its nature. I like the construction, I like the shape and the silhouette. Arrietty was really setting up to be the fashion girl with this promo, and I think from the rest of my rankings, that holds up. Episode 1 was Masked for Masked Singer, and in my reviews, I didn't actually rank this one, so I went back through and I looked and figured out who my favorite was, and I do think that that was Jules. I think that this masked look is really cute. It does look like something that you would see on Masked Singer, and I think Crystal was tied. I really liked Crystal's as well because there was the full illusion face that was hidden, and part of Masked Singer is that you don't know who the celebrity is. I think this was cute. I really love the shape. I love the billowing ruffles in the back. Episode 2 was Is It Cake? And I gave the top placement to Sam. I still hold by this. I think the tongue-in-cheekness of Is It Cake could go in a lot of different directions. The point is to have a booty reveal. And so I like this double entendre of being a literal actual cake and then turning around and having the visible booty. I think the only thing I wanted to see on this was maybe like a little bit of piping, but this was by far one of my favorite looks, probably of the entire season. I just love how literal and camp it is, especially knowing how down the season, Sam does not really lean into camp at all. So to see her in the early part of the season showing something that is so different from the rest of her package is quite refreshing in the early part, going all the way back again. Week 3 was Monopulence, and I gave the top placement to Arrietty. I still hold by this looking at everything again. There were a lot of great looks that week, including Anya. I loved Anya's garment, but Arrietty just did something special for me. I love how Latina this is. I love how Mexico City it is. I love how architectural it is. I think the color looks luxe and rich on her. Really, what I'm gravitating towards is the body. There's a full illusion and fantasy, and not a lot of girls know how to style their bodies. Week 4 was Quilted for Your Pleasure, and I gave the top placement to Lexi. I'm just a big slut, and I also really love ruffles. I love the way that this billows and cascades and folds on itself. I have always really loved J-Idols, and this feels so J-Idol coded. Like, I could totally see a girl coming out wearing this for like the graduation finale number, you know? Except instead of black, it would be in some type of crazy jewel tone, and it would sparkle to high heaven. I love the hat and the gloves and just the shape of all of this. It's very interesting. Week 5 was Tickled Pink. I gave the top spot to Arrietty once again. Looking back on it, I think I still do hold to this. There's a lot of fun looks in this week. I think I really liked Corey's as well. Arrietty just does something special for me with the way that she pads and the way that she silhouettes. The way that this is sort of like in the 90s, there were these machines that you could put a quarter into, and you'd get this sticky, taffy-like rubber stuff, and when you squished it on walls, it made this splat effect. And I just really respond well to that. I love the sculptural hair. I love the chains, and just, it oozes richness. Week 6 was the Sickening Ball. I still am so gagged how many design challenges were this season. For me, para mí, only for me, I think that this was one of those scenarios where Arrietty was the clear winner and everybody else was sort of just there. A couple looks were really strong in the sewn category as well as the sea creature category, but I think a lot of people missed the mark on bathing beauties, personally. This lionfish that Arrietty did is top tier, including the change in the makeup, the way that she went from blue to this, then to regular glam makeup is so impressive. Smart package, great final design. Arrietty swept this week for me. Week 7 was Nailed It, and my god, Susie is so lucky that she came out in this incredible look because that Snatch Game was so booger boots. I love this look. The idea of doing an Iron Maiden when it is nailed it is so smart and intelligent, and I gave her a lot of props the week that this dropped. I was gobsmacked, and I still am. If I were to think nailed it, I would probably do some type of long nails. I would maybe think like a Bon Qui look. I would think that girl who had the long nails that were so long they started to like curl on themselves. I would be thinking about stuff like that, you know? And I'd probably do something where I was like holding toilet paper, trying to like wipe my butt or something with these long ass nails, you know? To do something that is not nails, but hammer and nails is the mind of a mastermind. I love Susie's brain and I loved all of her package. It was quite stunning throughout the entire season. She was usually just teetering right near the top for me in most weeks. This look was the best of the night. And then when she turns around and there's that head on the back, Week 8 was Parasol Shady Ladies. I didn't love this category. I thought it was a bit stupid. Parasols are interesting because they're meant to shade out the sun. They're not meant to catch water. And, you know, I think the only one who really did it spectacularly for me was Arietti. I put her in the top. I love this look. I love the color scheme. I think she looks really great in this cherry red. And then the hair, the little curls that are coming off of it, and that beautiful parasol. It's a Mexican bombshell in New Orleans. If AHS Coven was a telenovela, this would be it. And I'm obsessed with that. Week 9 was Betsy Johnson Fashion Collection. And there was a lot of dissension in all of my comments across the internet about this week. For me, the Betsy Johnson Fashion Collection was about taking your drag filter and putting Betsy Johnson through that. So it's meant to look like it came out of that collection, but styled by you as the queen. And I think of everyone that was in this cast, I think that Jules did it the best. There were a lot of looks that I loved and responded well to, including Sam's. And I got a lot of flack for liking Sam's look. I thought it was brilliant, and I thought it looked like a combination of Betsy and Sam. But what Jules did was take these gaudy, tacky fabrics and make them couture and make them high fashion. I love the way that she styled this and did go punk rock with it. I think that the makeup is excellent. I love the hair, the styling, the choice to kind of bedazzle everything here and put studs. Great work from Jules. Week 10 is Who Wears Short Shorts, and initially I gave the top placement to Arietti, but the more that I looked and studied Susie's look, the more I realized that that was my favorite. I love this page boy announcer at the Shakespeare Auditorium because the sight gag of this era was that the clothes were so that you would laugh and it would set the tone for a good time. The luxness of these colors, how rich they look on her skin, the gold lining, the way that it is short shorts, and the accessorization here with that cute hat, everything sells the story of this period piece in a way that is so uniquely Susie Toot and so uniquely the challenge. And the problem for this week was a lot of the girls didn't do short shorts. And this was also the infamous Marie Antoinette scandal, which was not Marie Antoinette at all. But Susie killed it this week for me, and I still hold by this. Week 11 was the black and white ball, and I'm still a little bit confused why the category was black and white ball if it wasn't a ball challenge. I gave the top placement to Lydia Butthole Collins because, I mean, look at this. This is everything. It's somehow very 80s in its presentation. I love the mix of textiles of the zebra print, the upside down triangles, the black foxtails, and then this scooped up hairdo. This was such a beautiful garment before she ruined it by cutting it. And I'm still so sad that this beautiful dress got ruined because this could be put in a museum. No cap. When she cut that, I crashed out like no one has ever crashed out in their life. Week 12 was Ugliest Dress Ever as a tribute to season 7, and I gave the top placement to Jules. I still hold by this. This was ugly. I don't care if people in the 80s spent their hard-earned money to buy a dress that looked like this. They had bad taste if they bought this. It is ugly. It is hideous. I hate pressed sequins. I have a vendetta against them, and I would burn every bolt of pressed sequin in the universe if I could find them all and light a fire big enough to put them in it. I do not like the silhouette or the shape, and the hair is awful. Everything about this is rancid. It is an ugly dress, but people wore this unironically, and that is what makes it ugly. It's not just styled and built to be ugly. People wore this. People wore that. Week 13 was Drag Family Resemblance, and I gave the #1 spot to Sam Starr. She absolutely slayed this challenge, took her aesthetic and put it on her mom. And a big part of the Makeover challenge is using your unique brand and figuring out how to apply that to someone else. And Sam did that. Sam does classic Southern American drag. That's her brand stamp, and that's exactly what she and her mom look like. I love the playing of silhouettes by putting her mom in the slinkier bathing suit and then she's got the pants. I think it's fun and it's a way to show that sexuality doesn't have to stop just because you hit a certain age, and I love that. And week 14 was opulent outerwear, and I gave the #1 spot to Susie. She looks like Yzma wearing red, and I love this look. I still hold by it. The makeup is so cool. I love, love, love this coat. And then the brooch clasp that's right in the center. This looks opulent in a way that a lot of the other girls did not that night. Yeah, it's a bummer that Susie went home looking so snatched, but I'm glad that she didn't go home looking like a busted mess like some other girls do when they leave the show. So the final tallies, I did math, which is not typical for me. Lexi and Lydia are tied with 1 point each. Sam and Susie are tied with 2 points each. Jules has 3 points and Ariete has 6. And so that makes, in my opinion, Ariete the official fashion girl of Drag Race Season 17. What were some of your favorite looks? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for being a part of this entire series. I will see y'all in just a few days for the finale. I am very, very Team Jules, very Team Anya. We will see what happens. I will see y'all on the flip.